Thursday night. We're all trapped in our homes, and it's time for another episode of Side Quest Side Sesh. And Skidmar's back in the building, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. The one and only.
You look like $1,000,000. How do you feel?
I'm good. I was telling the guys that I had been symptom free since Sunday, and then my fever came back like just before we got on the call, which is awesome. So
I think it's just because you're so fired up to be back.
That's probably it.
It's
probably nerves. It's the nerves.
It's probably just the nerves.
I'm sure it's just nerves.
Well, welcome back, man. It has not been the same without you. This is the first time in 5 years we haven't had you on every single piece of content we've put out. We're so glad that you're feeling better, and feel free to just phone it in tonight. You know, don't push yourself. It's not like we need you to carry all of the role playing for the entire thing. So just don't stress too much. But what did you do during this time? Was it mostly just laying on your back, praying,
moaning?
Yeah, mostly just being afraid and and sleeping. I was sleeping about 18 hours a day. My sleep schedule is all fucked up. Yeah. But then when I started feeling a little better, I started trying to catch up on classic movies that I'd never seen. So like the last couple of days I watched every Albert Brooks movie. I watched In the Heat of the Night for the first time 3 days ago, I think.
Call me Mr. Tibbs.
You know what? It was like I knew that line was like from that movie, but when he actually says it in the movie, it is so fucking awesome. It was just like, oh, that's why everyone quotes this line. It's so there's that moment and there's one other moment in that movie that is so amazing. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like jumping out of my chair. It was so great. So yeah, that's mostly it. Just doing that and slowly going insane.
In addition to classic films, a couple nights ago, Angel was like listening, and she heard something in the distance, like, "Oh, Skid's watching Schitt's Creek."
Yes, yeah, that's it.
I
watched the entirety of Schitt's Creek over the last week and a half. So,
did you like it? I feel like that was out. It's one of those shows that it came out, no one really paid attention to it, and then all of a sudden, everyone was watching the finale.
Yeah, I watched the entire thing and it never really hooked me, despite the fact that I love, I've had a huge crush on Catherine O'Hara like my entire life.
The best.
I love Chris Elliott, but I don't know what it never really got its hooks in me, and it might just because seeing a prosperous family falling on hard times in a horrible town maybe wasn't the best thing to watch during the quarantine. but it's a sweet show. It's definitely It's good. It's good to see that crew together.
Have you guys been catching up on any other TV or shows? You're like, you know what? I'm finally going to sit down and watch this movie or this show. What about you, Grant?
I got caught up on a show that is new, but worth seeing if you're into hot garbage. It's called Too Hot to Handle.
Oh, I've heard a lot about it.
It's a Netflix dating show where they take 10 of the hottest singles you've ever seen from all across the globe, put them in an all-expenses-paid resort in Cancun, Mexico. Let them get a little hot and bothered and see who they want. Couple pops. And then at like 9 o'clock on the first night, they're like, you can't kiss, have sex, or masturbate during the entire time.
You can't masturbate either?
No.
Can't masturbate. And there were literally, they're like interviews with TMZ. They're like, there were cameras in the bathroom.
I kind of want to watch this now.
And there's $100,000 prize, and every time they catch you, like some people just like, I'm just gonna fucking kiss you. It's like $7,000 is taken off the prize.
Amazing.
And so everyone's like, how could you not keep it in your pants?
So everyone's the pot for everyone goes down if anyone does anything.
Oh, it is great garbage.
The first time that, like, I won't ruin which couple it is, but they have a special temptation where they get to spend a night together alone in this room, and like the next morning they have this like Amazon Alexa style artificial intelligence be like, ladies and gentlemen, last night you lost $15,000. The offenses were bloop bloop, and you just see people blushing. Like the things that they did.
The things that they did, those kids.
So they're like, you know what? This is going to cost us $15,000, and there are cameras filming us, but let's hook up.
Yep.
Because is there incentive to like put
Well,
like
I mean,
them together?
Matthew, Kim Kardashian started her career with a sex tape. This is brilliant. But there are two people that stand out on that show, and they have done a great service to their career. It's kind of tacky, but it's fine.
I understand. I mean, Robert Redford paid $1 million to have sex with Demi Moore in that movie, so
It's true.
That,
And
and
was
that
based on
critically
a true
acclaimed
story.
drama.
yeah.
It was based on a true story.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely check out Too Hot to Handle on
It's
Netflix.
a very thin line between the show, like placing those people up as pieces of meat to be desired and idealized because they're all really sexy, and also viciously making fun of them, with like 10% of it being their own personal growth through like bonding things.
Yeah, because they picked the most vapid, awful people on the planet to put together. So the hope is that by denying them the one thing that they have going for them, maybe they'll blossom as humans. Hopefully not, because I'm enjoying seeing them fall apart. Joe,
Is there
you're
an
big.
incentive? Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
I
the
have
incentive
another
is money.
question about this. So like,
Yeah.
or like if you spend the night in the the love suite but don't hook up, you get more money into the pot? Like, are those kind of mechanics?
I haven't got that far. I'd rather not know. But you should definitely check it out. But first, watch Love Is Blind because that was great too.
It is great.
Joe, you're a big movie guy. You will trick me and force me to watch movies with you once every 2 years, and I always regret it. Are you just plowing through movies left and right once the kids go to bed? What are you doing?
No, not really. I don't know. I don't have a lot of time. Oh, you know what? I'm doing so many Zoom calls. I'm hanging out with so many people. Like, I'm doing a lot of like game nights and stuff like that. So
His social calendar is just so full and busy.
sorry. I know a lot of people. A lot of people know me. No, I've got sisters, and my wife has sisters, and that means a lot of hanging out. So it was my brother-in-law's birthday this weekend. We had a great time doing that. What was that thing you do, Grant? The Jackbox party thing
pack?
that you streamed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that and had a great time doing that. No, my wife and I had one movie night this week, and we were like, let's rent a movie that's like a new release that we wanted to see in theaters that we didn't see. And so we rented, and I loved Ford versus Ferrari, which I hadn't seen.
Oh, I want to see
I love that
It's
too.
on my list.
It was really good, really, really good. It was just, it's been a while since I've seen a sports movie where I was just like on the edge of my seat the entire time. So, Skid, you saw it?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it too.
Yeah.
My dad was an amateur racer.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, he's just
know
it was
that.
huge. Oh yeah, it's a bunch of like trophies and stuff growing up. So, like it was right around that time too. So like it drew me back into that. It was really cool.
A recommendation for you, Joe, since you like history and Skid, you might be interested too. You may have already seen it. I got into racing games, and I have a racing wheel now. Got really into F1 and following that. I've always been a big World Rally fan. Colin McRae in particular for Subaru is my team. But a really good documentary that's on Netflix, if you're into it, is Senna. It's about the Brazilian F1 race car driver. It's
saw
fantastic.
that. It is good? Okay, good. That's good to know.
Oh, and I started watching the Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary too.
Oh,
It's good.
Which is
two
great.
thumbs up. Yeah, it's
Where
really
is that?
good. ESPN.
ESPN.
Oh, is it just ESPN, not ESPN Plus? You can just watch it on.
I'm sure
it
it's
comes
on
with ESPN
demand.
Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have ESPN Plus, it's also that's the other thing I've been doing is watching old like NBA games from the 80s and 90s on YouTube. Mostly that.
Yeah.
Mostly that.
Oh, I
Yeah, Last Dance
started
is great.
the pilot of
Cheers.
what is the Attack Against America? What's it called?
Oh,
My
Plot
Two
Against
Dads?
America.
Plot Against
I just
America.
finished it.
America.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah,
That
the
show is
pilot's
so
good. Very solid.
I've read the book.
It was funny because watching it, I was just like, this makes me feel like it has the same sense of mounting dread that I had as a kid watching V, the original miniseries.
Uh-huh.
And so I watched V again because I was like, that was just like, I wonder if that still holds up. And it does. It's a little date. I don't know if you guys have even seen it. No one even talks about it anymore. Like this was like the biggest sci-fi phenomenon.
I remember the remake with Monica Baccarin, right?
Not very good.
Not very
Not her name, but close.
Monica, what is it?
Miranda
Right.
Baccarat.
Monica's her sister. Who,
Baccarat.
It's like Joe
Sounds like a
Manganiello.
Bond girl.
Monica Baccarat.
Baccarat.
That's a Bond girl.
I love that Serene series. Anyway,
Matthew, what are you watching? You're more of a reader, probably.
I have-
you read
I
the
have-
teleplays instead of watching the series.
Actually, I usually do both. When I have the script. No, I've been reading. This week and last week I finally gotten to read a bunch, but I've been watching a lot of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and we also have been trying to watch classic movies. We've been finding on whatever streaming service we did. So we watched the Murder on the Orient Express with Albert Finney in
Nice.
the 70s. That was fun. That was a lot of fun because it was like the same kind of formula that Knives Out is trying to use. It's like all stars and murder mystery. Yeah, so it was great. Then we also watched, which didn't hold up at all, but 3 Days of the Condor.
Oh,
That
I
movie
like
does
that
not-
movie.
It doesn't
I
hold
saw it in
up.
high
I saw it
school.
was on Amazon Prime, and I was thinking about watching it. It doesn't hold up.
No. Also, but it has the most laughably 70s sex scene I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, I remember that. Well,
So
when they're
there's-
on the run or whatever. Yeah.
But they're not on the run. They're just like in her apartment, and she's so tangential to the story. It's anyway. But the sex scene, it'll like zoom in on Robert Redford's shoulder, and then it will like zoom in on a random picture on the wall, and then we'll like zoom in on his face, and then it will like zoom in on a camera lens because she's a photographer, but she hasn't actually taken a picture or anything on screen. But we just zoom in on a random camera. It's just
I just thought you meant they were all really hairy.
no. Sorry.
You missed your calling, Matthew.
I know. Apparently, I didn't know that was a thing.
Right, you would have known right up your alley.
There's also a thrilling sequence that I was watching with Caitlin and I were watching. I was like, I bet this was actually really interesting in the 70s when he sneaks into the Bell headquarters and retaps all the phone lines. And he's got the that old the big old handset device you could plug into the line.
yeah.
And there were dials on top. And
Yeah.
I was like, I bet in the 70s when you're like, oh yeah, how do they tap a phone line? Watergate, because Watergate had just happened. I bet it was thrilling.
I've
was just like,
spoken to several baby boomers about that movie that have all independently recommended it to me. So I think it was fucking awesome in the 70s.
Yeah, I
because
think
they
it
all
was
love
it was a
and
big
remember
hit.
it.
Well, we have our own show to make, and we're back with the team, with the Fab Five. Thank you to Eric for joining us for the past couple weeks. It was nice to step outside of this module a little bit more, and also to get a little backstory on these characters, find out maybe who they were before they came here. Now, I was thinking about this today. I have a pretty good idea of what's happened since episode 1 of Side Quest Side Sesh, but do you guys remember everything that's going on? Probably not. Probably our listeners, unless they've been voraciously listening to these episodes 3 or 4 times, don't remember either. As the sounds of Matthew's ambulance.
Mute your microphone when you hear a siren.
Just turn off your computer and leave.
I just assumed it was Sirenscape making that noise.
Oh, hey.
I was, I think I'm pretty good on it. I think I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah. We,
The nuts and bolts of it are you're coming here because there was a tax collector that came, Elias Kyle, to pick up these taxes that hadn't been paid in years due to a clerical error in Magnamar. His sister was the cleric, or his half sister-in-law was the clerk that found out this thing, trying to throw him a bone to go collect the taxes, and he never returned. So you're here to investigate. You come to the town, and it's a little backwards. What were you going to say, Joe?
I was going to say, so we met a few of these locals, and so far we haven't really gotten too much information other than that her brother-in-law did come here, apparently met with the mayor, had, several conversations, apparently, according to one bystander, got what he came for, and then left or something, or he didn't see him again or whatever. So I'm curious to talk to the mayor about what was discussed there. We know that the mayor's brother is very ornery and was very combative quickly, and his brother, the mayor, had to cool him down.
Leonard, please.
Leonard, please.
Please, Leonard, come on now.
I think there's
Have a nice cold lemonade. Have a crystal goose.
Have
and
an
calm
Arnold
down,
Palmer.
Leonard.
there's also
Crystal Goose.
before we got to the town, we also did something very important, which was eliminate the grave and terrible threat that applesauce posed to this entire community.
Mhm.
It was very important that we did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I had forgot that. Grant, you also talked about one of our underlying missions is to uncover the secret Sturge fighting ring.
Yep.
And then maybe get a piece of that action. We're not sure yet, but we're gonna take it as it comes.
That's kind of Braven's thing. He tried to get everyone to sell the face water and take over that whole experiment afterwards. Braven just wants to take over any operation we're supposed to stop. But maybe when you guys see the golden goose, you won't look it in the eye next time.
Little side quest, side says Sturge side bet. In Ravenmore.
That's a mouthful.
It sure is. Yeah, no, I should have mentioned, since you've been walking around town, people are just walking their Sturges. Hello, good day, here, sir. Walking their pet Sturge. Bat wings.
Oh God!
Top of the morning to you, outsiders.
What are those things called? Is it proboscis? Is that what it's called? Like the big
Yes.
long
Proboscis.
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 Yeah.
What's proboscis?
I think you're thinking of hibiscus.
Oh,
Sorry, yeah,
hibiscus.
it's a flower.
It's someone who's very feels very strongly in favor of hibiscus.
Promiscuous hibiscus.
Probiscus. That's the platform that Mayor Kriegler ran on.
He was a proboscis candidate.
Party.
It was a very anti-biscus town before Mayor Krieger took
Yeah,
over.
but he was a bull moose proboscis candidate.
And now the town is a bloom.
It blew the
Hibiscuses.
biscuits as far as the eye can see. If you look at your Roll20 journal over here, I've added some of the players you've met here.
Ooh.
Obviously, you met the little boy who you threatened to murder and made him pee himself, Ornegard Korza. And then on the way into town, you met old Skender Cardsy, the guy that works the ferry. And I didn't add Scully Jones. What was his name? Old Scully. I guess I can add Scully Jones. I can add him to the journal as well. That's the just the skull that was hanging on the shed.
Orny.
And
I'm
then
so
you
creeped
went.
out by those kids. I'm creeped out by the mayor. I'm creeped out by Orny's dad. Everything.
I thought Viorek Korza was a cool guy. I think he could have really flown off the handle after you murdered his son's pet, but he kept his composure.
Yeah, but he
Eventually
seemed
what-
to me, maybe I was exaggerating. Maybe I don't know, putting it on him, projecting it, but it just seemed to me like he was keeping just beneath the surface the fact that he was going to kill us. Like that's sort of what I took away from that exchange. But yes, you're right. He was very rational throughout the entire conversation and reasonable.
Especially as we gaslit him and his son.
Yes, certainly made them both feel like they were the idiots. And then I added today Leonard Kriegler. That's his photo there. If you open up the journal,
He looks unfriendly.
he really does, and he was not having it. He just was itching for a fight the minute you walked up.
You know what?
and
By
then-
your role play, I sort of saw him as kind of like older and weird, scrappy, like crazy person. I didn't see him as like a guy who could actually just kick our ass. Like,
Yeah, no,
he
he's
looks pretty. He looks like a bouncer at a bar
and he had a rake. That's his weapon of choice, the rake.
or scythe.
Yeah, he's a big dude, and so then you have Mayor Andretti Kriegler. And look at this smooth
Oh
talking
man,
Oh.
dude. He is
he looks like
He looks like
young
that
Mr.
guy on-
Burns.
young Mr. Burns
does.
with that guy on Benson.
Mm.
Oh,
what I'm talking about?
Rene Auberjonois.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at
that's
Star
right.
Trek
Renee
as well.
Auberjonois.
Yeah, Matthew's
He just-
been. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
He just passed away very sadly.
He
before
did.
this. Yeah,
He
before
did.
this.
Right after he calms down his brother, he tells you, as he said 3 weeks ago, "Welcome to Ravenmore, friends." And as he's patting the sweat off of his neck, he's like, "What brings you to our fair village?"
That was the last thing that happened.
No,
Yeah.
this is the new thing.
Oh, we're in
essentially,
it
yeah.
now.
Oh,
We're in it. It
oh,
just
God.
happened.
Oh,
See how I
okay.
seamlessly just became Mayor Kriegler?
Wow.
It's like there's a
just wow.
cutscene. It was like there was a cutscene in a video game, and you set down your controller and walk away, and you come back, and the action has started.
You forgot to pause.
Yeah.
What brings you to our fair village?
Yeah, I think someone has to talk now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
He's
think.
just standing
We're all
there.
just staring at him like, we are trying to come up with our lies. Give us a moment.
There's a button that says continue.
He's just standing, like kind of like gently swaying, with like the menu options open beneath him.
We come
Mayor
there.
Kriegler, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. We are new to your village. We come up from Magnamar to the south. We were looking for a person who we heard pass through and had some conversations with you. A man by the name of... I don't remember. What was it, Grant? You remember all these things.
Alias Kyle.
Alias Kyle, if that name rings a bell.
Mr. Kyle, oh yes, the tax collector. Don't tell me you have another debt to collect. Times are hard enough here in old Ravenmore. I hate to impose upon you, but could we walk and talk? We have a monthly festival happening later today, actually, and I am needed at the festival grounds as we speak for some last-minute preparations. Please, accompany me for the walk. I promise to help you in whatever way I can, answer all of your questions. Would that be all right? And he kind of starts walking.
Yes, of course, Mayor, absolutely. It is an honor that you even take the time on such a busy day to speak with us. I know that this is quite a large festival. Everyone has been talking about it from the time we walk to the very borders of your town. So I appreciate you even speaking with us for a moment. But I did, you caught something that you said right there, which was that the tax collector came and you paid him. Does that sound right? Because you said you're not collecting taxes again. Did you pay this man who came, this Elias Kyle?
Yes, I did. I'm assuming you know that Ravenmore has not paid their taxes for some time, and for that I do apologize if that is the reason you are here. Of course, had Magnamar bothered to send yearly collectors like it had in the past, this unfortunate situation would have never happened. But that's neither here nor there. We could play the blame game all day. This Mr. Kyle, was he a friend of yours?
An acquaintance at best. We never met the man. We were simply set up not so much to collect taxes as much to see that everything is okay with Ravenmore. After not being heard from for quite some time, there was concern in the city that perhaps it was not just the tax collectors had not visited, but that the town was unable to pay for some reason, and we wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And thus far, we have seen a town that seems to be operating very well, is obviously healthy enough to throw a festival, which is great news. And it seems like you are paid up on your taxes. So I don't really know what happened to Elias Kyle. Why would he not report back that you had paid? That is, I think, the rub of the situation. He has not reported back that you paid him.
Huh, well, that's strange. You will pardon my bluntness here, but when Mr. Kyle came into town, he wasted no time making a bit of a fool of himself, ordering townsfolk around, making unreasonable demands when he should have just come to me directly. Once he did seek me out, I assured him that I would pay the taxes in full, but I needed a bit of time to scrape the funds together. It's not every day that we just have 500 gold pieces laying around. I'm sure if you've walked around our town for more than a couple minutes, you can see that we are not a town rich in money, as it were, though we are rich in tradition and rich in a strong feeling of family and community. And we look after each other, and so even though this man was an outsider, I even invited him to stay in my manor and enjoy that month's festival. He happened to come same time as you on the day of the Founders Festival. I said he could stay in my house, but he had little interest in what he called them, those backwoods hootenannies. He was rude from start to finish, but I took no offense. I've traveled around this fair country. I know that our customs and the things we do around here may be a little bit different than what they do in the city or even more civilized villages. The man did take me up on my offer of board, though, and he went to bed early as far as I could tell. The next morning, I paid Mr. Kyle taxes in a locked coffer, and the man left town just before dawn, presumably heading back to Magnamar.
Can we sense motive on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, sure.
I'm happy to have my motive sensed.
Would you like some lemonade?
Ooh,
Feel it helps
26 for old
ease the
Alfonso.
sense motive down. Nice cold lemonade really goes with sense motive on a hot day.
Excuse me, Mayor. Is that a Crystal Light lemonade?
It sure is. Now, it may not be the fancy Crystal Light that you're used to in Magnamar. This one's spelled with a K, and light is that fun little L-I-T-E. Like we're too stupid to spell it right, but we know.
We know. 26.
So what y'all roll?
26.
Anybody else roll up there?
14.
11.
11. You, Alfonso, get the sense that he's a little jittery, like he might be holding back some information.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the way he's presenting it. It seems like he's not quite telling the whole story.
Yeah. Did you have something, Grant? Did you want to jump in?
I just wanted to assure the mayor that I agree that Magnamar is a disgusting cesspool of urban sprawl, lowlifes, and corrupt bureaucracy. It doesn't surprise me that Elias would act this way. We're here to find him, not to advocate for how he acted or what he came here to collect, or Magnamar's own fault at not sending tax collectors here for years. So, please, any information you can give us, what direction he went, would help us, and we'll be out of your hair all the quicker.
Yes, what a horrible fate to be surrounded at all times with books and culture. Like, you can only imagine the kind of effect it would have on a person.
Well, I must admit, you saying that he did not return, it does not surprise me. I have heard rumors that he lit out for Riddleport, in which case I fear that those taxes I gave him are as good as gone. But the fact apparently remains that we still owe a payment, otherwise you wouldn't be here. I'm not quite sure if you're here for Mr. Kyle or if you're here for the money, but you all strike me as more trustworthy agents than Mr. Kyle, frankly, and I am afraid we don't have the full payment available to pay the taxes a second time around right at this moment. But if it's the money you're after, let me know and I could arrange something. I'll tell you what, I can extend to you the same offer that I extended to Mr. Kyle. Come enjoy our festival tonight and our feast as my guests. You're welcome to stay in my home. It is the only two-story home here in Ravenmoor, so I have the room. I have beds enough for all of you. Stay as guests, and I will see what I can scrape together from what remains of the town's funds and pay at least part of what we owe. I understand that you're probably concerned for Mr. Kyle, but I want Ravenmoor to be looked at favorably by the bigger cities and not think that we are deadbeats. So if it's the money that you're really after, I would like to find a way to pay you something.
That's very generous, Mr. Mayor. But surely Mr. Kyle provided you with a receipt upon payment, did he not?
No, he did not. I was under the impression that would be sent via letter from Magnamar once it had been brought to wherever it was being collected.
Now, Professor, you must realize that a receipt would mean little to people such as these. It's not like they'd be able to read it. It's a common mistake that newcomers will often make is they'll talk to them as sort of people. You have to think of them in an region such as this as say talking to a farm animal, or better yet, a cherished pet. Listen, man,
A cherished pet.
Mr. Mayor, I, for one, would love to take you up on your offer of lodging at your splendid mansion. I, for one, would love to see a 2-story mud hut.
Well, it would be my pleasure, and I do urge you to come to the Founders Festival, and you could report back and tell people what a good time it is. It starts at 3 p.m. followed immediately after by the feast, and then you are a welcome guests in my home. By the morning, I should be able to give you at least a part of what is owed, and then, perhaps as a show of good faith, maybe at a later date, Magnamar may even send you north to Riddleport to find out what became of that scoundrel and collect the rest. If not, I will see what I can do about getting the rest to you as soon as possible.
It is
Very kind indeed.
Very, very kind, yes.
Mr. Mayor, I will admit I'm not here in any official capacity. I'm just a simple professor of anthropology, and as it just so happens, I'm preparing a paper for a very esteemed journal about folk celebrations such as these. Anything you could tell us about the festival would be most appreciated. And
Well,
maybe I'll even be able to add a footnote in my paper about Riddle.
That sounds quite lovely. Honestly, I think the best way for you to learn about the festival is to experience it firsthand. Now, if you've been to other festivals in some of the bigger towns, it might seem a little country for you, but we have a heck of a good time, and it's just good old-fashioned, clean family fun.
Well, let me jump in here and try to explain maybe another way what the professor is trying to say. When you are writing a paper, an academic paper on folk festivals such as this, saying things like, "It is an old-fashioned good time." It's not really what we are looking for. It is more, where did the festival come about? How going there and experiencing it would not tell us how long it has existed, where it started, what its main customs are. What do you know how long this festival has been going? Has it going before you became mayor, or did you create the festival?
Oh no, this festival's been going on long before me. My ancestors ran this town long before I did, and the festival is in honor of the Dream Tender to give us a prosperous harvest. That's why we do it every month, in praise to the Dream Tender, in the hopes that she will see fit to bestow her grace upon us, so that we may feed our town and continue to prosper for many, many years to come. And by now you're outside of like the festival grounds, and you see there's like a large field that's been fenced off, and it's created an area where like tents, benches, and tables have been set out for whatever this festival is. And as you approach, you see a bunch of villagers dragging tables from barns. Others are like setting up small pavilions, picnic quilts, and they're even like hammering a little makeshift stage together to prepare for the festivities. You see unlit piles of wood for bonfires standing around the perimeter of the field, and an open space in the center is cleared and ringed with benches that looks like it would be to watch games and competitions. There are people buzzing all about, children running around, and a bunch of people see the mayor and start kind of coming up towards where you're talking. You can tell that they eagerly have things they need to run by him, and they're all kind of eyeing you suspiciously. And the mayor's like, I do apologize, but I am needed. Please, I would love to answer your queries about the history of this festival, for it is a long and an interesting story, I think, but perhaps it'd be better for you to experience firsthand, and then later back at my manor we will sit down and drink some of my fine whiskey from my liquor cabinet, and I can regale you with tales of the original Founders Festivals.
Well, thank you for your valuable time, Mr. Mayor. I, for one, am very excited to hear what I'm sure is arrhythmic washtub thumping, jug blowing, and sort of non-verbal grunting.
Please make yourselves welcome here. It's going to be all that and more enjoy your time here in Ravenmore, and I'll see you 3 p.m. You don't want to be late. You don't want to miss the beginning of the festival. I'll see you in just a bit.
One more thing, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, what?
We've been traveling a great distance. Would you be so kind as to open up your house to us now, so we might refresh ourselves before the festival?
Yes, could we drop off our luggage?
Yes, exactly.
Check in, so to speak.
If you give me a moment, I don't. It's not that I don't trust you. I just not every day. I just let people there without. I don't want Leonard be running around and giving you trouble. He's a bit of a pain in the butt, but he's my brother. He's family. You know what? Come back here in about 10, 15 minutes. I'll see if I can send somebody to the house with you.
And of course, Mr. Mayor, you can trust us implicitly. If nothing that you have could possibly be of any value to us anyway.
That's quite fair. I will again 15 minutes. Let me see what I can do. And yes, I can understand if you have. I don't see any bags, but I'm sure you might want to freshen up. Yes, just a moment. And he kind of scurries off, a little shook by all this questioning. And you are in this town now, and you see the map here. Up here to the north is where the festival grounds are. So you were over to the east, sort of the northeast, in this large 2-story manor. And then you walked over this little bridge here, and then down this pathway in the center of town, right up to just outside of the festival grounds. You're kind of northeast of where you met the Corzes. You see over to the west, right on the water, what looks like a mill. And then just to the south, there's a trading post, perhaps, maybe a blacksmith. You see smoke billowing up out of a chimney. And then there are these stones over here just north of the mill that look kind of interesting. And then, there's more stuff to the south of town. But you pretty much have free reign. You have a couple hours before the festival to get settled. What do you guys, do you have like a little powwow with each other?
Yeah, definitely. Alfonso he's going to be like, I'm very suspicious. We all are suspicious, obviously, of what is going on here. But I think one of the key things that bothers me is if this man truly paid off this tax collector 500 gold pieces, which is going to be an exorbitant sum to have on hand in cash for a town like this, that he would be so willing to say, I know it's a minor inconvenience, but I'll get the cash again for you tomorrow, is ludicrous to me. It is not possible that he either must have never paid or he's not paying us. One of the other has to be true.
I suspect he has no intention of paying us. I suspect foul play. See how I use his accents there? I'm getting in with the culture.
I suspect foul play.
I can't see too good. Is that Boss Hog over there? I was really fooled for a moment.
Well, either way, I think that we can all agree on that. But the question is, how can we use this festival to find out what is really going on, what his true intentions are? I don't know if there is a place around here. He sees a mill. He sees a blacksmith. I don't know what I could use, or what around here could tell us any answers to these questions right now. I'm trying to think on it.
I think
Perhaps-
our best is pod and see if we can loosen up their lips a bit. They might be able to spill some beans they aren't supposed to if we do that.
Probably won't be too hard. Does anyone have any antifreeze?
Oh, so good.
That sounds like a fascinating idea, Braven. I'm for it.
Yeah. Oh, I think this is a great idea. But I feel we cannot do that until the festival itself. Once this is underway. But before that, is there anything that we could do with these next few hours to, find out what... Everyone is so busy. I feel like we're not imposing on anyone and they will be irritated and will speak to us. That is my instinct.
Do we know, when we did knowledge locals on Ravenmore, how they make any money? Did we figure that out already?
farming, right?
No, you can roll knowledge local.
Yeah, is there a chief export of the town or something like that?
Seems like it's farming because they're preparing for a harvest.
True.
Yeah, but they prepare
what
for a
crops?
harvest every month.
Every month.
It's like that's
I didn't think they prepare for a harvest every month. I think they do the festival to,
every month.
to get in Desna's good favor. Every
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ask if they've ever missed a month. You know what I mean? If anything's ever happened when they haven't done the festival or something like that. I got an 11. Sorry, 13. Knowledge local.
Anybody higher than that?
You can't roll that untrained, can you?
Not knowledge, yeah.
Okay.
The Shira bad. Yeah, I mean, just looking around, it seems like agriculture is probably their main jam. Are they bringing stuff to other cities and like trading? You're not quite sure. Maybe like the closest city here would be Riddleport, and that's. I mean, maybe I'm sure there's business and go down there. I think it's really just like a self-sustaining community. Like they have their own little. There's the person that makes the grain, and they sell the grain so that they can buy food for whatever. It's just like a little commune.
I don't know what to do.
It's funny. This is making me think of another movie that I just saw for the first time a couple days ago, Easy Rider. Which also features a commune of filthy hippies.
I can't believe you just saw Easy Rider for the first time.
Yeah, I'd never seen it. I was like, it's a long story, but it was
Captain
good.
America.
Yeah, Captain America. Yeah, I said, well, perhaps we could just sort of mingle a little bit. It's a harvest festival, so we can pretend to be impressed by the large turnips or whatever it is they have, and perhaps get into their good graces that way.
Yes, I wonder if it all starts and stops with the mayor, or if the people here know what is going on as well. And like Braven said, if we could loosen one's tongue, perhaps we could find out something valuable.
I'd like to check out these standing stones.
Ooh, lentils.
All right, yeah, you can.
That's lentils.
You're pretty close to that area. So if you walk over to the stones, you see a large ring.
Where are they?
They're right south of where you're standing. So if you see where the festival grounds are,
Oh,
okay.
I thought that was like a little amphitheater.
yeah, it looks like that. But as you get closer, you see a large ring of black river stones and tall stacked rock columns, making up, like you said, what looks like an open-air amphitheater, or maybe it was in the early days of Ravenmoor and has just been kind of hastily preserved. It doesn't look like it's something that's used all that often, and it's built against a steeply sloped sandstone outcropping in the land. Stone benches sit nearby, while a misshapen wicker and corn husk figure with mossy canvas wings looms over an altar at the far side.
Can I roll a knowledge check on that?
Yeah,
See if I recognize
roll knowledge religion, because it has a very religious feel to it.
I ain't got that.
I do.
Oh.
18 knowledge religion from Alfonso.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so-
I would like to use an ability that I have. So I'm going to take 10 to aid another on this. And even though I'm not trained in the knowledge check, I can aid. But I do have to roll to make it seem like I have knowledge in this area, even though I don't actually.
What?
Yeah. So, oh, you know what? No, I can't do it because I'm not in my area of renown.
Is this
I
a
mean-
third-party skill, Matthew?
You know what? In that
No.
case, just I'm gonna go ahead and use an inspiration to try to get it to 20, just in case that makes a difference. So 22 knowledge.
22.
religion.
All right, so it is a very unnerving looking.
Yeah.
It has like.
Yeah,
more
I
of a
knew that
feel-
before the roll.
right.
I think it's
Oh,
creepy
I
as
do.
hell.
I do aid.
Damn it!
So you get 24.
All right, 24. Was it
24.
DC 23?
No, you had it anyways,
I know.
or at least as much as I can give you.
I just wanted to use some inspiration.
It's a representation of Desna, but it seems strangely crude and untended, almost as if it was more of an effigy than a proper object of love and veneration. Now, it was Skender Cardzi that first said to you, like, I made the Dream Tender guide your way. And you were like, Dream Tender, what's that? And I think it was Karazor who was like, that's weird, but, maybe that's just they're so removed from society. Everybody has their own names for Desna. Now you're seeing a representation of Desna that's just like, oh, that's really off too. How far removed are they from society? It's just a little strange.
Huh. Is there anything about it? There's nothing about it that has any elements of any other religion or anything like that. It's not a mixing of gods. There's not a sort of an evil crossover here.
No,
there's
you
not
don't
like
get
a
that
nightmare god that has like been confused with Desna by these people.
Or like early Christianity, where a lot of pagan rituals were kept like very strong towards the beginning.
No, you don't get that sense. This is a hay-based economy. It would make sense that their effigies would be.
I'm telling you, we put a hay mine in this place, we'll be magnates in Magnemine.
What do you do? Hey, miner.
Yeah, hay miner.
I have a small hay mining concern out in. Oh, you never heard of it? It's called Ravenmore.
Yes,
My uncle died of yellow lung.
Oh no, I had my money in hay and 46.94 AR, so I'm fine. My kids are set.
Oh yes, you bought in just after the big hay crash in 44.
That's when they tell you to buy. All right.
Short of the hay market.
The stones that you're seeing, you recognize these megaliths because you saw some of them on your way here. Anybody have knowledge local?
Yes, indeed I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
18 again. Knowledge local.
14.
Professor, come on, you got to study your knowledge loc. That's enough for Alfonso to know they're called troll rocks. It's like a popular local legend in this area, all the way from Ravenmore down to Galduria, and kind of the area you were when you were what was that? Not Wolfseer, but where the hell were you when you
Monk's
fought
Hood?
the werebear?
Monk's Hood. No, that's the
Monk
plant.
shit. I can't remember. Anyways, this whole area, they call them troll rocks, and they're, as legend goes, fragments from immense rock trolls that succumbed to the petrifying light of the sun and just became stones.
Yeah, that's the Lord of the Rings, man, or whatever, the Hobbit. But that's so good.
Can I do a knowledge history? See if there's any kind of like Thessalonian
Yeah.
elements of this.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's good.
22.
22 to see if there's any like deeper, older meaning. This no, you don't get that at all. It's just something local that maybe they believe, like, oh yeah, I know the adults believe it as much as the children, but nothing going back farther than that.
If we're done here, could I'd like to go over to the blacksmith.
Yeah, let's do it.
And at some point, either now or during the festival, we should use the gather information asset of diplomacy at some point.
Yeah, actually, can we do that?
Yeah, I mean, I was just basically role playing it, but we could just do a roll. I mean, one of the main things I want to do is just I wanted to like small talk about weaponry and stuff, see what they're making. But then I wanted to ask the blacksmith or whoever's there about this representation of Desna. You know what I mean? Like, how do you see the dream tender? You know what I mean? Like, get more descriptions. Get more descriptions of the deity from the common people.
Sure.
One thing to keep in mind is that you got to meet him back in 15 minutes. So you got time to talk to the blacksmith, and then if you want to go see if he takes you up on your offer to
so we don't have time to technically gather.
And then you only got about maybe an hour, 45 minutes before you've got to go to the festival. So gather information can sometimes take hours. Isn't it like a D6 roll?
1D4.
1d4 for hours, so you may run the risk of being late for the festival. Just something to think about. But let's go to the blacksmith, and then you can go meet up and see if he'll let you in the house. So you walk up to I'll ping it on the map here. It's all kind of close by to where you've been hanging out. So you go to the festival grounds, then you go to the stones, and you just come up to this house right next to it. And while it bears a sign that proclaims it to be the town's trading post, the lack of any customers outside or any activity whatsoever certainly sets expectations that it's probably a pretty poorly stocked store, which makes sense. Like they're just providing supplies to their residents, and they don't really expect travelers to come here and buy too much. You see a barn sitting to the south with hay bales outside of it and smoke coming from the back of the main building. Sitting out in front of the building is a beautiful young girl who looks like she's repairing a dress. She sees the four of you approach and stands up energetically, holding the dress behind her back like she doesn't want you to see it. And she especially is eyeing Alfonso. And she's like, "Well, hey there, strangers."
Well, hello to you. It is so nice to make your acquaintance. It's so nice to see a fresh and happy face here on this festival day. My name is Alfonso Moria. It is a pleasure. And he bows.
My. Alfonso Moria, what a name, what a name. Are you an actor in the big city?
May I have the honor of your name?
Oh, my name is Shell Lupescu.
Oh, God.
My name is Shell Lupescu. What brings you to Ravenmore, Alfonso Moria?
Oh, we have just heard wonderful things about the Founders Festival and thought we should check it out for ourselves. We are on holiday from the city and wanted to see something, not the usual. Something strange and different and fun. Wanted to meet new people and see beautiful things, such as yourself.
Oh, she gets all fired up when you mention the Founders Festival. She's like, "Oh, wait, are you here to take part in the Founders Festival? Well, you picked a fine one to come to because I am going to be named the Founders Feast Queen." You see, every month, the mayor awards it to Ravenmore's most beautiful daughters, and I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I just know it. And when I win, maybe you can save a dance for me, Alfonso Moria.
Oh, you know that I will be saving a dance for you. The Queen? How could I not? I will strike my head off if I do not save a dance for the Queen.
What are your responsibilities as Queen?
Well,
of the festival?
I have to wear my dress here that I'm working on. Don't you take a peek, especially you, Alfonso. I see your wand. This is what I'm going to wear, and I'm supposed to represent the town. And well, I don't really know. I've never been of age, but I'm pretty excited. Maybe you could give me that dance now. We could practice a little bit. And she starts kind of edging closer to you, and as she does, boom! The door opens on the main house.
Oh, this shit's gonna go down.
Big dude comes out. Muscular-looking, bald guy comes out, and he's got a blacksmith's hammer in his hands. He's got the blacksmith's apron covered in soot, and he's like, "Shell, manavu, let's go!" And she just kind of like scurries back up to the porch and stands behind him. And he steps forward, and he's like, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we were interested in knowing what you make here.
I don't think we have anything for sale today. Not for you, not for people who are not from here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do not need to buy today. I simply wanted to know what it is you make here, so I could, send some business your way when I return to the city, if it is something, of course, that is of a high quality. From what I can smell and hear coming out of your shop, it sounds like you are hard at work, and I would love to know what it is you specialize in.
Yes, what?
And besides, we would never be so bold as to try to offer to pay for anything you make. Clearly, you're quite wealthy. We saw your mounds of hay displayed for all to see outside.
Yes, and clearly a man of your stature has no fear of having this hay stolen from right in front of his house. So you must have a reputation in town as a strong and capable man.
Where are you from, and why are you talking to my daughter? She has to get ready for the festival.
To be perfectly honest with you, we came to speak to the blacksmith. She was simply sitting outside. I assumed she was a greeter of sorts. We did not come to speak with your daughter. We came to speak with you.
We had no desire to speak with her at all.
Yes.
Well, I am blacksmith. I am Sol Lupescu. You ask question, I give you answer. But nothing for sale. I do not have weapons for sale. We do not do that. If you will come looking for weapons, we do not have that.
I was
for you
thinking
today.
perhaps a pewter mug. Do you have something of this nature? A cup? A souvenir that I could take back for my time here in Ravenmore?
Roll a diplomacy check. See if you can kind of win him over that you're really not looking for any trouble.
Can
'Cause
I
he
aid?
came out and yeah, good. Anybody
too.
that spoke can aid.
I also aid.
You know, I do appreciate the craft itself, especially making things that some would consider to be simple souvenirs, but others of us know it takes a lot of effort and work. Someone pours their heart into it, you know that there is something personal that you carry with you, a bit of the person you met, perhaps. And then he goes on just for a second about some of the details of blacksmithing, and I just say that because he has a very specific trait called Student of Philosophy, which allows him to use his intelligence for diplomacy. So he sort of, by reinforcing the intelligence of what he knows about their profession, he tries to use that to win people over. And I rolled really well. So that is a 26.
That might work for a Rube too, who is like
exactly, yeah.
be impressed by your or like doesn't want to try to refute you because he doesn't understand what you're saying.
Right.
And you rolled a 22 total
26.
with the aid?
26.
26.
No.
And I rolled.
How many aids
and
were there?
You get 8 for me. I rolled a 29.
So that's 28.
Wow. And me, I aided as well.
All right, so 30.
So he looks you up and down, eyes your friends, and is like, "You talk to my wife, Anya. She might have a mug for you, or maybe some other small supplies if there is something you need. I apologize that I got angry. I am very protective of my daughter, and I do not know you. I see someone else in town come talk to Shell. I know who this is. I know everyone in town. I see 4 strangers talk to my daughter. I get nervous. She is very excited for festival. You talk to Anya. I'm sure she can help you with whatever. But I must go back to work. I am working on Screaming Stars for festival. Good day."
One more question.
Yes.
You're very sensible to suspect us as outsiders.
Thank
we
you.
are, and we are indeed. But I can't help but notice. I can't place your accent, sir. Are you from Ravenmore originally?
What
no,
a jerk.
I am from elsewhere in Varissia. I grew up in this area, but I moved here when I was a boy to Ravenmore.
What brought you to
A
Ravenmore?
young man. My parents. My father took job as blacksmith. He teach me to be blacksmith, and now I am a town blacksmith. And my wife, she runs the trading post.
Is your wife from Ravenmore, or did she move here to
Or
be
did
with
she
such a
come
handsome
from?
man?
Did she come from Austria-Hungary as well?
No, Anya she is local. I met her when I was a young boy. We were friends, and then when I grew up, we courted, and then we marry, and we make shell.
and then we make shell.
We, how you say?
Very nice.
Make a girl out of penis.
Thank you for indulging my question. You
I'm
forgive
sorry.
me for the rudeness.
We have
My
taken too
common-
much of your time. I know it is a
My
very busy
common
day.
is not so good. How you say? Make baby with penis. Hey, Anya, maravu.
I can't wait for you to meet my wife.
You don't look at my wife the wrong way. I will get very upset. I take this hammer and I slam you in your faces. All right, I go to make things for the festival. It was nice to meet you. Anyways, good day. And he goes back into the house.
All right, I'll go into the shop. And is Anya in there?
She is. I will throw some more faces into your
Oh dear.
into your Jamalam
no.
here. There's Shell Lupescu. This is a great.
How old
photo
is she?
there.
She looks like
Ah.
Goldie Hawn.
The ingenue.
16. He's 16.
Oh yes!
Oh,
dude!
Mark Strong.
Mark Strong. Oh, I love me some Mark Strong. Oh dear.
Oh,
Vera
Oh, Vera
Farmiga.
Farmiga.
And
Formaggio.
that is the woman you
Formaggio.
see behind the
Vera cheese?
counter. That's Anya Lupescu, you would assume, and she is standing inside of the store. You know, it's pretty bare bones. It looks like what little it does have is mainly agricultural equipment. You see plows, like plow heads, scythes, flour sacks, flails, and the like. Most of the available space is otherwise taken up with tables, and then there's the long counter that Anya's behind, as well as a hearth on which sits a large bubbling cauldron. You can see as it's bubbling, it's like a thick, creamy stew with chunks of who knows what inside. You see some clamshells, though. Anya's behind the counter, and she's like, "Hello there. What brings you to the Lupescu trading post?"
It is a pleasure to meet you. Shall we call you Anya or Mrs. Lupescu? What do you prefer?
I would call me Mrs. Lupescu. Saul, he's got a bit of a temper. I do admit I did overhear your conversation with him outside. He's a good man. He's just he's prone to protecting his daughter. What father would?
Of course, we do not hold it against him, especially on such a stressful day. I'm sure there is much work to be done before the festival. Really, we were curious what you make here, and if there was anything for sale we could take, we could buy in terms of souvenirs, or... he also mentioned the screaming stars that you make for the festival. We're trying to learn all we can about the Founders Festival, and even some small information such as what these screaming stars are would be very interesting to my friend the professor here.
Oh, yes,
I'm
well...
writing a paper on folk festivals such as this.
Yes.
Oh, well...
She's a professor of anthropology and no other occupations at all.
Anthropology. Wow, so you study books.
And sometimes, yes, I do study books.
That
but-
is fascinating. I've always wondered what the study of books would be like. You do that for a living?
Oh yes, I'm also I'm just a simple teacher, but my interests are wide ranging, and I like to travel and see the world, and I have no interest in maintaining a sense of justice in the communities in which I visit.
None whatsoever.
Quick question. You used a word I'm not familiar with. Teacher. Is that a type of fish?
No, not quite. Close. It is like a fish in that it's not at all like a fish. But it's someone who I work with young minds, and people come to me and I tell them things that I have learned, and I help them to learn them.
Oh, you mean a Learnmaker?
Yes, a Learnmaker.
Well, that's quite nice. We don't get many Learnmakers around here. The one we had, she just passed away. We're gonna have to make a new one. If you like it here, maybe you can stay the whole time. We could always use a new Learnmaker.
Very kind offer, but unfortunately my responsibilities and duties call me elsewhere. But it is a pleasure to spend these few days with you and your community and learning from you, and not at all concerned with keeping the peace and interfering with law enforcement. That's not something I care about at all.
Well, good. That's a lot of information that I probably didn't need, but I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, there's nothing suspicious about a person living a single life, is there?
I don't know why anyone would suspect
I
anyone
don't know
of having a
why
double
anyone.
Well, now you'll have to excuse me. I'm happy to sell you anything, but we have to get ready for the festival soon. However, you asked about the Screaming Stars. My husband, we all do our own little part in the festival, and he's in charge of one of the games. I don't want to spoil it for you, especially for the thing you're making. But the Screaming Stars is that, and she points to a rusty old star knife on the wall.
Oh,
Star Knife.
the weapon of Desna.
The weapon of Desna.
Yes, Scream. The weapon of Desna is a spear.
The weapon of Desna is a star knife, you fool.
No, the Dream Tender is a spear. It looks like a fallen star.
Interesting. Yes, I think we are learning things we did not know about Disney before.
You know, the Screaming Star, though, it does have star in the name. That might work too. But no, it's definitely the spear.
So
Anywho,
why then do you make a star knife?
It's just something they've always done, and we use them in the festival as one of the games.
Can I do a knowledge religion on whose weapon is the spear?
Sure.
Is it Erastil? No, it's a bow.
Erastil is a bow. I only got a 14. Oh,
good.
Inspiratione. Let's do it. That's what it's here for. 16.
I love that you treat inspiration as a consumable, and like all consumables, you use it.
Sorry, you cut out. What'd you say? And like all consumables, what?
You don't like to use them.
No, I know. Well, I'm just trying to figure it out. It's a new class to me. I'm excited. I think it's a fun thing. The thing is, like, when you're doing a role-playing setting, you do 1,000 knowledge checks. So you're just like, okay, which ones do I really want to use this on? I think this might be important. I mean, they are straight up saying that. And Troy, we know that we're right? That the star knife is the weapon of Desna.
Right, but they've already got the name wrong, so it's not.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out if there is a mix or something happening with anybody else.
You rolled a 14.
16.
16. There is no deity that you are familiar with that uses the spear as its weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even
That's not
is information.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Anywho,
Can we purchase cups or
sure. Oh yeah,
trinkets?
we got a mug right here, and it says, "I went to Ravenmore, and all I got was this mug."
Oh.
How much would you like for it?
Also have some magnets and some postcards.
Ooh, I'll take the mug and 4 postcards, if you please.
All right, that'll be 6.
6 what? 6 copper pieces.
6 hay.
Corazor,
hay
you brought the hay, yes?
Yes. I left it outside in a pile. I'll be right back.
Pay them with their own hay.
Here you go.
Get your hands out of our safe. Pulling the hay.
Amazing.
Just like going outside, grabbing their own hay, and like bringing it.
Here you are, sir. And she's like, 10 and 4 is your change. Breaking hay in half.
It's like the easiest con of all time.
Well, we thank you so much for these wonderful items. I will cherish it. Remind me of this wonderful trip. May I ask?
Can I get a license plate with my name on it, a little one?
A little one.
You look, and it's like Karazu, Karazan, and you're like, they're sold out of Karazors.
Karazor with a K.
Come along.
You're like, God damn it.
Come on.
Stupid
Come
hippie
along,
parents.
Karazun. Are you talking to me? No, my son is also named Karazun.
Come along, Karazun. Yeah, so she gives you your magnets and mugs and misspelled license plates.
I frantically write messages in the postcard and send them all to my closest friends and tell them where I am. And then if I don't report back in several days, come find me.
Good.
Send them on Ravens.
Yeah, there's no post office.
Damn it.
But there's plenty of ravens. All right, so by now you probably want to head back and see if the mayor is going to let you check out the house.
One quick question before we leave.
Yes.
In your time here, has there ever been a festival that did not happen? Or does the festival happen every month, on schedule, without delay?
Always, yes. Always have the festival every month, right before the full moon.
Now that is the commitment we are looking for. Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure, and I hope to see you at the festival. Should be a wonderful time. Always is.
Looking forward to it. I'm going to take notes even.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're a Learnmaker.
Or rather, I'll have my friend Karazor take notes because he's an expert note taker.
Oh, yes. I'm quite skilled at the putting of pens to paper and recording the history of things said.
But I don't know what you're saying, but it sure sounds
I know.
nice.
It's an alien concept to you people. I should dumb it down a little bit. I'm so sorry. I get carried away sometimes.
So,
The seething contempt with a smile. I love it.
to dumb it down for you. All right, so you head back over there, and what do you just kind of like linger outside to see if you catch the mayor's attention?
Yeah.
All right, so you see him. He's buzzing about. He's pointing fingers to someone, pointing other fingers, like telling people what to do. And he sees you, and it's like, yes, gentleman, lady, yes, my house is ready for you. This young man here will walk you over. And I've already sent word to Leonard to not give you any trouble. So please make yourselves at home. There are 4 bedrooms upstairs. I believe there's 4. I have to just look at my notes real quick and make sure there's not more. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 6 bedrooms upstairs.
Oh, wow.
Make yourselves at home. One of those might be mine. I'll look at my notes on your walk over there. But the point is, there's plenty of bedrooms for y'all, and you head over there and drop your stuff off, and it'll be time for the festival in just about a little less than an hour. But please make yourselves at home. We'll see you in a little bit.
Very excited to see what their definition of bedroom is.
Yes, I feel it might not live up to what we expect.
And so this little maybe 14-year-old kid in overalls with no shirt and no shoes and a straw hat. It's like, all right, come on this way. I'm gonna take you to Mayor Kriegler's house. Just follow me, and we'll be there momentarily. And he huddles away.
And what's your name?
Oh, my name's Crew McEnroe. Yep, Crew McEnroe. And that's my name.
Are you excited for the festival?
That's
Crew?
my name.
It's one of my favorite days of the month, and it comes every month. So I have 11 favorite days each year.
Right. What do you like about it? What's your favorite part of the festival?
Oh, I like the raven fights. My pa tells me when I'm old enough, I can get me a raven and train him to fight, and maybe I can enter him into the raven fights, and if I win, I get a seat at the table with the mayor himself. I help out the mayor from time to time with some chores and whatnot, but that's different than sitting at the table the whole time. Would be seeing me sitting up there with him if I won a raven fight, but I'm not old enough yet to have a raven, so I can do it. He just kind of devolves into grumbling.
I'm sorry.
You hear the word raven every once in a while.
I'm sorry. Are you saying raven farts?
No, but that was one of the names I was thinking of naming my raven. Just calling him farts. But I don't know.
Go get him farts.
It's either farts or kingfisher.
Come here, farts.
Kingfisher the Raven.
Yeah, my daddy said I'm gonna get one when I'm of age. But I'm going to get a raven yet, raven fart.
What else happens at the festival besides the raven fights and the eating with the mayor?
Oh well, they throw the screaming stars, and then they chase down the greased pig. That's a good one too. And then of course there's the feast. Oh, the feast is unlike anything. But I don't want to spoil it for you if you ain't never been. It's really good. That's a raven and farts.
Okay.
Well, you've been very informative, and I think you should perhaps consider a speech therapist at some point in your life.
You talking about one of them speech Learnmakers?
Exactly, yes. The devolving into unintelligible grunts, while very charming, is definitely a demerit on your communication skills.
Well, but on the other hand, on the upside of things, if you ever have a stroke, no one will be able to tell.
Don't listen to them. I think you're absolutely charming. You should ask Anya to dance tonight.
Oh,
Not
mean-
Anya. Anya is spoken for, my friend.
Oh, right, her mother. Sorry.
Talking about
Perhaps
the
Shell,
blacksmith's
perhaps
wife.
Shell.
I mean, I always did have a crush on her. I used to look in when she would take in a bath. But don't you go telling nobody, or my daddy won't give me my raven farts.
That is probably something you should stop immediely.
Yeah, there ain't a lot to do in Ravenmore, but fight ravens and look in on ladies taking baths.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my god.
So wait,
I'm thinking about killing this kid on the spot. I'm thinking about it.
Speaking of which, it's only 2. That gives me about an hour before the festival. You know, I could check in on 3 or 4 baths in that time. I really need a raven to occupy my time.
Listen,
Ain't
child.
much going on, parts.
You must not do this. I beg of you. Tell you what, if you don't do it, I'll put in a good word for you with your father. And maybe you'll have farts and kingfisher a year early.
You're talking about 4 ravens?
Yes,
yes,
4 ravens.
if you behave, why you'll be able to fight the biggest raven you've ever seen.
Oh, well, that sounds like something. I might be able to win the Raven Championship. I could win every month, be sitting at the head table. Maybe I would be the next mayor of Ravenmore. Mayor Crew McEnroe. Yeah, that's got a nice ring to it.
Is that how they choose mayors here? The Krieglers are the best raven fighters?
No, I'm mostly joking. The Krieglers are always the mayor. You know, once he has a son, then he'll be the next mayor, and then the one after that. That's just how it works here in Ravenmore.
Is the mayor married?
No, he's had some wives, but they all passed away.
Record scratch. How many wives say had?
I don't know how many he's had. It's just the death rate around here is pretty high. We don't have a lot of food, and when the harvests don't always come, some people just starve.
Yes, life expectancy has got to be about 13 or so.
Have they ever been found at the base of the river? Skender Cardzi told us bodies showed up there.
You've been talking to old Skender? He's a good man. My Skender and I, we used to go looking on bats together from time to time. That's how I learned it. I learned it from old Cardzi.
He's truly a champion of virtue. But yes, have any of his wives ended up missing? Found at the base of the river?
Yes, just so I'm clear, you are suggesting that multiple mayor's wives died of starvation. Is that, am I getting that right?
The only man who lives in a 2-story house, his wife, on multiple occasions, died because there wasn't enough to eat.
Well, listen, I don't know too much. I just know that the mayor is a bachelor now, but eventually he'll probably find another wife, and then he'll have a son, and then that son will be the mayor. I ain't mean nothing by it. I'm just telling you what I know. That he had a wife or 2 maybe, and then they got sick, and now he needs to find a new wife. But here's his house.
Does he marry the queen of the Founders Festival ever? Does he help choose the queen of the Founders Festival?
He helps choose. Yeah. No, I believe it's his decision. He picks the most beautiful of Ravenmore's daughters, but I ain't know if he married any of them.
How would you know such a thing? How would you ever know?
When was how long has it been since the mayor's last wife died?
I don't know. You guys have a lot of questions about the mayor's wives. I'm just saying he had some, now he ain't got none. My daddy's on his 5th.
Wife?
Yeah. People die around here all the time. It's just we're poor.
Well, I suppose all we can say with relative certainty is that none of them died in the bath.
No, I would have seen it, and then I
Certainly, you
had
would have seen it.
the unenviable.
Would have been multiple
decision.
witnesses if any of them had died in the bathroom.
Yeah, me and old Skander, we wouldn't know what to do. Do we report it? Because if we report it, then they know we'd be peeping, and then we get in big trouble, and I won't get farts or kingfisher.
And then I
Anyway,
won't get
here's-
farts.
Here's the mayor's house. He says you just head on up to the second floor and you find your bedroom, and then you drop your stuff off, and we will see you at the festival. Maybe we can bet on ravens together. They allow a little side bet. My pa, he won't let me have a raven, but he gives me my allowance. I'm allowed to bet a little hay on the raven, and sometimes I come up big. I'll see you at the festival.
Oh God. Oh. I mean, I thought that they couldn't get dumber. Like they just keep getting dumber. You're really taking this to an amazing low.
I feel real inspired. Really inspired.
Clearly. All right, we'll head into the two-story mud hut.
Let me see here. What's going on? I just want to make sure I have this all set up.
Can we go to the? Are we taking it to the map?
Take it to the map.
Taking it to the map.
Scuba da da da. Taking it to the map.
All right, let's reveal you guys standing outside the front door to Mayor Kriegler's mansion. I just realized you're not on that page, so let me take you there. Outside of Kriegler Manor.
Oh,
I love the singing in the background of this track, Joe.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, you
it's
got
cool.
it. Okay.
What do you want to do? You're outside there. You have the manor to yourself.
Yes, Alfonso will gladly walk in. Step up to the door, open it, and walk in.
All right, you walk in, and this is what you see. You see a large living area. There's a door to the left and opening to the right. Down the hallway to the right, another doorway. There's a large fireplace dominating the space. It's cozy, though, and inviting. It's simple, but, as you would expect. But the couches, you can tell, are well made. And the chairs are nice. There's a small tabletop shrine with a large candle. You see strips of dried flay leaf and several heavily charred effigies woven from the flay leaf strips.
All right, Alfonso will step in. Past the couch. And go to the stairs. I mean, he just told us to go to the second floor, right?
Yeah, he said you could just head to the second floor. There's stairs right there. As you walk in, you can see more into the room to the right. And then you also see deeper down the hallway to the left. In the back of the house, you see there's another doorway to the right. And then there's like an opening with a table, maybe a dining table. And then there's an alcove to the left. There's pretty much 1, 2, 3 doors unopened, and then obviously the rest of the first floor that you haven't explored. But the stairs are right in front of you. You just want to go straight up.
The professor would like to open the door to the east, just to see what's in there.
Okay. Also, I'll direct your attention to above the map and up to the right to give you this fun little picture of what the house looks like. In 3 dimensions.
Like a log cabin.
Yeah, it looks like where John Adams would live.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like
Were you
the
thinking
house in
John Adams?
Braintree. The house in Braintree where John Adams was born.
Yeah, it looks like
The Braintree
yeah.
house. Professor, you open that door to the right, and it looks like a pantry. There's shelves and cubby holes, and it's well stocked. You see jarred preserves sort of making up the bulk of the stores, but there's also cured sturges and baskets of dehydrated black mushrooms, and this is kind of gross. You see a smoked giant tick hanging from the ceiling.
Ugh.
A delicacy here in Ravenmore, you would assume.
Ugh.
As we're As we're looking around, Raven sees this and kind of reels back, even though he's a hobgoblin. That's kind of gross. And he looks at everyone and puts his finger to his lips and goes, shh, shh, points at his ears and then around the room. Raven is simply concerned that there's been time, someone could be hiding somewhere. He just doesn't want to say anything about the mayor while we're in this place, basically. He's trying to get that across to everyone.
Yeah, and Karazor points at the tick and he's like nods like, yes, clearly this place is bugged.
Oh my god.
There it is. You just gotta give it a little.
How does he do it?
He's back. He's
Beautiful.
been sitting on that one for 3 weeks.
Seriously.
All you need is 3 weeks of 18 hours a day
That's
sleep.
all.
Couple
Well,
classic
you asked what
movies
I
a
did.
day.
That was It was just
Woke
planning.
up in the
that.
middle of the night. Was like, got it.
Can the professor open the door in the back here? Or
In
does
the
that lead
back.
outside?
Yeah, that just leads straight outside. Let me show you what outside looks like. Just looks like that.
Ooh.
Dirt.
Oh. Is there anything to the left here?
Yes, so there's another opening here in the back, and you can see sort of what's. You see the other side of the fireplace and some benches. This area looks like the kitchen, and so you've got the double-sided fireplace. On one side, it's making the living room inviting. On this side, it's being used probably to heat stews and cauldrons over the fire. And in fact, there is a large pot with a thick sludge of boiled vegetable matter cooking on the stove, and you see a single bowl and spoon are the only items to have been used recently. He is, after all, you now know, a bachelor. He's cooking for one. The other pans and utensils carry a thin coating of dust on them. There's just one bowl and spoon that are his go-tos, it seems.
I'm gonna open this door too.
The back door there is locked.
Locked, eh?
Yeah.
Alfonso is going to take a step to the left to the door that's right next to him and just sort of like stealthily crack it open and peek in.
The door to the left, right when you walked in.
Mm-hmm. He's looking for anything suspicious. Probably not going to be something right in the front, inside the front door, but
Roll a stealth check.
Oh no, 12.
So you go to open the door quietly, and it's on rusty hinges, and it's just like it echoes throughout the whole house.
Oh no.
And you see right inside here is a bedroom. There's a single bunk bed, a dresser, and what looks like an uncomfortable chair. And then a window going out, and you look at the window and you see a face looking in. It's Crew McEnroe.
Whoa, no.
You gonna take a bath anytime soon? No, there's no face.
Get out of here, you crazy bastard. Quick perception check. Sort of like gonna lean down, see if I can see under the bed, see if I see anything else that a closer look would reveal. 15 perception.
You roll a 15 perception, and what are you looking at? The bed, the chair, just kind of everything?
Yeah, just taking a closer look, basically. Still from the doorway, not rooting around.
All right, so are you
looking
messing
under
with
the bed?
Okay, all right, so you're kind of fiddling around, and as you're searching the bed, the quilt on the lower bunk, it has a real stink to it, and as you turn it up, you see that underneath that is silk sheets stained with some sort of dried brown fluid.
Oh.
The upper bunk bed is made, and it doesn't appear to have been used in weeks. The lower one has a weird smell and some sort of dry brown fluid that's hidden underneath the quilt.
Can I do a combination of smelling the fluid, of and
Taste test.
tasting it, and like maybe a craft alchemy to see if I could know what the substance is, if it's just dried blood or if it's some other sort of human created
Fecal matter.
discharge.
Yeah, check it out. Roll alchemy.
Oh, there we go. 29.
29. It is not an alchemical substance. You feel confident like that. It's not something that is man-made. It has a blood sort of consistency to it, even though it's dry. You get the sense that like a blood would have formed this stain, but the color isn't quite right.
I mean, I know blood. I know
Yeah,
blood inside
you
now.
know blood.
Is it not blood?
No, you don't think so. You think it's like, I don't know, like a secretion maybe?
So how about a heal?
Yeah,
Heal
try a
check.
heal.
16.
16.
So some sort of secretion of the body.
It doesn't look like the stain is not consistent with like an attack. You know what I mean? So this further makes you feel like it's not blood. It's not like someone. I'm thinking of the
What?
movie The Staircase. Oh, not the movie. The Netflix doc, The Staircase.
Yeah, seemed like a movie.
You know, the blood spattering was such a big part of that, and you know this is not consistent with blunt force trauma or anything like that. It's just a weird substance.
Karazor comes in to see what Alfonso is doing and reaches down, like scrapes a little bit of the substance with his claw and looks at it distastefully. It's like hillbilly diarrhea. And he wipes it off.
I put that in my mouth.
You ate it?
I ate it.
Why would you eat the hillbilly diarrhea?
I thought it was blood.
Why would you eat blood? Oh, well, you would eat the blood, but don't eat hillbilly diarrhea. It's one of the worst brands of diarrhea.
One
of the worst brands of diarrhea you can eat.
Would a knowledge nature work on the hillbilly diarrhea?
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do next. Knowledge Naish.
Natural 1 from Braven.
18
Yeah.
from Alfonso. Knowledge nature.
This
Nothing.
does not appear to be something that is from nature. It is unnatural. So
it's unnatural, but it's not made.
It's not blood, as far as you can tell, although it has the consistency of blood. It doesn't appear to be the result of a crime or any sort of attack.
How about
It has a feeling like a secretion or something, but
how about a knowledge arcana? Could it be the secretion of a creature? Knowledge. 17.
not anything you've heard of. It is stymieing you. But it's the strangest thing you might have seen since you've come here.
All right, I'm going to put
But
it
maybe
back
there's
the way I
a
found
logical
it.
explanation for it.
Perhaps.
But it makes sense that it would be unnatural. All these people eat are bugles and liquid cheese.
Would make for an unnatural secretion, yes. I'll cover it up. I will put the bed back the way I found it. And then,
All right, just make it back the way
everyone
you did.
get out. Let's step out of here. We can think about this more later. I don't want to be found in here poking around if it can be avoided.
Yeah, you did say you were
Alfonso.
just going to go in and check out the beds. There's no reason to believe that you're not being watched, or how long.
Just looking for the bedrooms.
Right. In the
More
event that we
suspicious.
are, just let myself or the professor do the talking. And he closes the door.
All right. I guess if we suspect we're being watched, I don't want to pick the lock back here, but I am curious. I guess
Do you
we
listen to
should
the door or anything?
Yeah, can I listen at the door? Good idea, Skid.
Sure. Perception.
That is 15.
15. You listen. You don't hear anything on the other side.
All right, should we go upstairs and claim our bedrooms?
Yes.
Yes. Let
I
us
would prefer
go.
not to sleep in the bed with the human body secretion of some kind.
Well, there's a perfectly good bed just over it, if you'd prefer that.
Ah, yes, but the smell is Not quite my
Uh,
jam, Karazor.
It's rather unappealing, the smell.
And whoever it was could come back and get in the wrong bed.
This is true.
Yes. There's always
you
that
head-
risk.
You head upstairs, and if you look to the right of the map here, there are, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms. The doors are all ajar to each of them. You basically have your pick. You went up the kitchen stairs. Now you're on the balcony level, and it's a balcony like it overlooks the rest of the house. So it's got that sort of like cabin in the woods feel.
Oh,
where
yeah.
You
Oh,
look
yeah.
down on the
Love
living room
that.
and the fireplace. And so wide hallway, 6 identical wooden doors. Each of the rooms look to be starkly appointed with a single bed frame covered in a thin quilt. You see in each room there's a wooden wash basin resting against the wall near a pitcher of water that probably needs to be changed. 4 of the rooms have windows that look out past the barren estate towards the Lampblack River. And you... let me see here.
I'm going to
I
look
think you
out
would
the window.
assume- Yeah, you would assume that those are the ones that would be the guest quarters, because the other ones aren't as nice.
And we didn't come across a bedroom, any of these bedrooms that would look like it was the mayor's bedroom, right?
No, I mean, there was the bunk bed, but you wouldn't think he would use a bunk bed.
So maybe he's in that locked room. Or that's where he keeps his dead wives.
Yeah.
Stacked up like cordwood.
Oh, is that the dead wives' room?
Yeah. So you guys, which rooms do you choose?
I think we're already in them.
We're in
You're
them.
already in them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in the rooms with the windows. Oh, except
no.
Karizor chose the no window room.
And Braven.
Oh, Braven did as well. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
want to go on the record saying if it matters what rooms we chose because of the way like an encounter plays out, that's awesome. And I'm going to be pumped.
I very particularly picked one without windows so I couldn't be watched, and one further down the hallway so the assassins that come up the stairs in the middle of the night get to someone else first so I can hear one of you getting murdered and I can react.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
specifically chose them with a window so I can jump out it when the assassins come up into the hall.
They're going to climb up. They're going to do a pincher maneuver, so you're screwed.
Yeah.
You also picked the biggest room. Actually, at Karazor,
That's
this
Alfonso.
bed. Oh, Alfonso. Karazor, this bed is actually a slightly smaller, so he's going to go into the room to the west of Braven because that looks like the biggest bed, and he's a huge knoll. So he's going
He
to,
walked through the wall.
Yeah, he
Astounding.
smashes right through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Says, "Oh yeah, I like this bed better."
Well, now look at this bed.
Bigger room. All right. So you found your rooms. Is there anything else you want to do?
Alfonso, do a perception check out the window just to see if anybody's looking at the house, who's walking around outside, anything like that. Ooh, that is a 23.
23. You
Is
look
there any
out there.
anything unusual out there? Is everybody going about their business, not paying attention?
Everyone's
at all?
going about their business, but you do see the mayor's brother sort of near the beginning of the walkway leading to the house. And he's just standing there, kind of like staring off into the distance. That big burly dude. Anybody else want to do anything?
Karazor's going to search his room. He's going to take 20.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do the
Okay.
same.
Are we all doing that?
Yeah.
Are we all taking 20? Alfonso yells into the hallway.
Yes.
All right.
When you take 20, is your final score 20, or do you add your perception bonus to
You
it?
add your perception bonus.
All right, so what are your modified scores with that? If
30.
you all take 20. 30?
28.
And 28?
26. Oh, sorry.
20.
You all search your rooms. Alfonso looks around, just kind of like really seeing, is there anything here that's out of place? Nothing. Braven does the same thing. Nothing. Karazor looks around. Nothing. The professor finds a scrap of paper stuffed into a slit in the mattress, right where the bed is pushed against the wall.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
What does it say?
On one side of the paper, it's an order from the city of Magnamar for the collection of 500 gold pieces in back taxes from Ravenmoor.
Oh, this is the room he stayed in.
While on the other side,
I'd like to change my room.
for some reason, the door is locked, and you can't get out. And the walls are closing in.
And the doorknob's hot.
On the other side of the paper is like, you look at it and you're like, why do I know this? It's like it looks like a crudely drawn map. But you're like, what is? You're like, oh wait a minute, I think this is Ravenmoor. You haven't been here long enough to really know, but you see the river, the lamp black. You see the other river and little bridge, very crudely drawn, and several buildings are circled. You see the manor in which you're in is circled. You see the ferry area where you met Skender Cardzi is circled. You see what has to be the trading post where you met Anya and Saul and Shell is circled. And then there's another building that you haven't been to yet that is circled.
Do we know what that building is? I mean, we took a brief look around town, like what the buildings were. Is it like the mill or anything like that, or something we haven't even, noticed from afar?
Yeah, you haven't really dug into it. You wouldn't be like, that could be one of 2 or 3 things. But if you went over to that area, you would be able to tell, okay, this is what was circled. The manor, the ferry, the trading post, and this one other building. And I will highlight, when we get back to the other map, I'll highlight it for you. I don't want to zip out of this map too soon.
I choose a different bedroom, and then so I'll take the one at the other end, and then I will show everybody else the scrap of paper.
Ooh. Good find, Professor.
Yes. Perhaps we should swing by this last building before we head to the festival.
Yes, that seems like a solid plan.
All right, so you zip out of here and you go back to the big map. And the building that was circled, make sure I get this right here, is on the south. We're kind of like right in the middle of the town, but closer to the south. You would have passed by it actually on your way to the Korza house when you were returning the soaking wet child and his dead sturge. It's this house on the map, right? Yeah.
Aha.
Could you ping that again? Oh, there.
Right there, yeah. You get 17 pings all at once. So if you head over there,
Active sonar.
from the manor house,
Wom,
you
wom, wom.
go
Wom,
along,
wom.
and it is a weaver. You go inside and you see a shop filled with simple clothing, cloth, thread, yarn. There's a large loom and spinning wheel that's taking up most of the back area of the shop. There's like a little a door that leads to the back room, and then you see a large cage containing silkworms, which are prevalent in the mushfins.
It's a very Silence of the Lambs vibe in here.
And you just see the little worms just crawling all over each other, crawling up the cage. No one's manning the counter, but you walk in, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling on the door.
Oh no!
Oh man.
This
And
is like
after a
Silent
few-
Hill now.
Yeah.
Now?
After
It has been the
With
entire
everyone gone,
fucking
it's
time,
typically.
dude.
Well, foggy.
God
After-
damn it.
you have a moment to just stare at those little silkworms crawling around, because it's the only movement in there. And then a stooped old crone hobbles out of the back with a quick smile. She's like, well, city folk,
well, I don't think we have the kind of clothing that you're accustomed to in your fancy cities and whatnot. But if you like what you've seen when you've been walking around town, odds are that these hands made them, and I would be happy to sell you what I got.
She holds up her hands, and they're just like ancient, like old hands that are scarred a million times over from weaving and pricking her fingers with a million pins over her lifetime of making clothing. And there's something sweet about her, but she's also like ancient looking and very like she's the oldest person you've seen since you've come here.
Pardon us, ma'am. We are visitors. We're here to attend the festival this evening. Will you be attending?
Of course. Everybody in town, we're going to be going to that Founders Festival. We have it every month, you know. It's quite a scene and the feast. Oh, I hope I saved up enough room. I haven't eaten since dinner last night. I'm saving up for some smoked tick legs. Oh, I think I can eat one all myself this year. I hope they got them little sturge appetizers. Oh, it's going to be a heck of a good time. Pardon my language.
No, that's no pardon necessary. Not from me, anyway. You lived in town long?
No, this is my second day here.
I asked because hey, good one. I asked because a friend of ours passed through here not too long ago, and well, we haven't seen him in a while, and just wondering, maybe you saw him. And I describe Mr. Kyle to her. Burly man, not too attractive looking, red hair. You understand?
Red hair. I understand. It's just like you said, Kyle, Mr. Kyle. You said
that was his name, right?
You say his name.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's thinking to herself, and she's kind of puttering about, and she goes into the back room, and she's still talking to. She's like, Kyle, I don't know if I remember Kyle. Just a moment here. We don't get many visitors. So you hear her in the back room still talking. And she comes back out, and she's like, she's got a little shirt in her hand. She's like,
this man did come here to Ravenmore. He didn't visit my store. I may be old, but I have a pretty good memory, and I don't remember an ugly, red-haired man by the name of Mr. Kyle come to my store. But
Sense motive. Oh, man. Killing it in the non-combat tonight. 27.
You're killing in the non-com?
Killing in the non-com roll zonies. 27.
27. There's something very weird about her, but like there's something very weird about every person you've met in town, and she's old, and so you don't know if she's just a little not all there, or if she's being sketchy. But
do I get the sense that she never saw this guy? Or does it seem like she's hiding something about this guy?
You get the sense that she may have seen him and just doesn't remember. You don't really feel like she's hiding something, but she's a little weird.
You sure you didn't see him? He was very distinctive, and he had a very soft back.
Soft back fella. Well, I would have known him then, because if I fitted him for a shirt, I would have had these hands all over his soft back, and I would have remembered if I felt a soft back man come here about a month ago trying to buy a new shirt. I would have been, oh man, a young fella coming here. I don't care if he's ugly. I'm just looking at his back. I would be all fired up measuring him for a fancy new shirt. Soft back, I don't give a shit.
Are you telling me that girls go crazy about a soft back man?
I sure do. That was my jam back in the day. Soft back, you get me all coming here talking about soft back man, get me all fired up.
I don't know how excited she is.
I get it. It'd be a crime to cover up a back like that.
I can't tell if she's excited or offended.
No, she's excited. She's very excited. Yeah, I mean, she's odd. You've heard from the podunk kid that like people don't live that long, so she's a sight to see someone that has lived long. But she's I don't know, she's just a little weird like everybody else in town.
Is there, based on what we've seen, is there anything that these locations all have in common? I mean, one is a ferry crossing, so that's just strange. Those locations that are circled.
Yeah, you don't see anything like if you draw between the 4 places or look for any sort of connection.
Yeah, I'm
It
wondering.
doesn't form a pentagram.
No.
It's forming an arrow. It's pointed right at this house. Yeah, I'm wondering if these are either places that he visited or places that he meant to visit, and if so, why? In either case, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It seems pointed. What was he trying to do? From what you've heard, he came to town and was gruff and rude to people. And now it seems like, was he like, I was rude to her and him. I was really rude to him and her. I'm just going to shove this in the mattress and so I can remember all the people I was rude to.
So do we have enough time to try to gather information for the festival?
No, you've got about 20 minutes.
I guess we better head to the
I feel
festival.
like one of us could roll that like during the festival, though. How long is the festival? Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, your best bet is to do it after the feast, before bed. Because if you want to get there on time, you pretty much have to head
do
over
people
there now.
not talk to each other during the festival?
No, you can. I just
Couldn't
don't know
we
if gather
be-
information is like you're just so focused on that you're not focused on anything else or not. I guess you could make a case for it in the festival, I guess.
I guess we don't know anything about the festival. I mean, is it not a social situation where you can chat with people, or is it like constant games and things that draw your attention? Or is there like mingling? Because if there's hours of mingling, then we can gather information.
We can watch the Raven fights and chat up somebody. as we watch them.
Exactly. But if it's like you have to participate in the games, or you have to perform, or it's time for the talent show. It's time for the talent show. Like, I don't know what this freaking thing is going to be.
I hope it's like the talent show in Wet Hot American Summer.
Directing / choreographing the.
Oh my God.
Day the day.
Day by day. I am
day.
so old. And when I was a counselor here, I was a fucking counselor for Jesus Christ.
And they were all just like pissing
Arts and farts.
We used to call it arts and
pterodactyl egg.
farts and crafts. Back in my day.
Speaking of the Wet Hot American Summer guys, the state posted a video today of them all singing Porcupine Racetrack on Zoom. I don't know if you were big state guys, but it is a must watch.
Yeah.
It's just a pure joy fest. Yeah, anyway.
Well, so Karazur says, pardon me, madam. I know that a haggard old crone such as yourself must be incredibly busy, but would you mind if we took a quick look around just to see if our friend might have been here and left one of his things?
Hair follicles.
Yes. Any
The follicles?
DNA follicles, fragments,
Yes.
Am I to understand?
semen or the like.
Alfonso gets out his. Hold on. Yes, I do. I have a black light. Yep. He gets out his black light.
It's right here on my sheet.
It's right here on my character sheet.
There's a great Dave Chappelle bit about crime scene investigators always like finding it under the stove, and he does this big scene where he wipes his finger underneath the stove. And anyway,
Yes.
Well, I must ask you, are you customers here, or are you coming to look for your friend?
Always.
I don't mind you walking around here, but maybe you could buy something on your way out. You can't buy the silkworms, though. I need them, and I've already sent some all over to the festival. We fry them up and serve them. They're quite a delicacy. Some people like to eat them raw. I like them cooked just a little bit, so when you bite into them, they're just kind of pop in your mouth like a jalapeno full of cheese.
Jalapeno.
To be perfectly honest with you, we came here to look for our friends. But the second we walked in the door, I knew I would not possibly leave without buying something. It is amazing the things that you have made in here.
Well, let me get my tape measure and measure that inseam of yours. Get over here.
Get in there. You old fox.
Let me get in there. Ooh,
You old silver fox.
your friend had a soft back. You got a soft something else. 30-inch inseam and 42 waist. Wow, you a big fella.
I
You
believe
have some
you're...
strange proportions.
It is not possible, ma'am. It is not possible.
Let me check that inseam again. Let me really get
Never
in
been
there.
a day over 28 inches.
Oh my. So she measures you for pants, and then she's like, "I do not have your size in here. I'm sorry. If you are welcome to look around a little bit, I don't think you're going to find anything." Everybody roll a perception check.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, nice.
This would be a good one. 21.
14.
25.
There you go.
4.
Raven, dude.
Raven.
All right, so you look around the store, and you don't find anything of interest. But as you're looking around, she's like, "If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I need to head over to the festival grounds. Things are starting up. Please don't steal anything. Was a pleasure meeting you. Come on by any time if you'd like to buy something." And she actually just like walks out the back and just leaves, leaving you in there.
Should we do a perception
yeah,
check
I'll do
of
a
the
take
back
20.
room?
I'll do
Yeah.
a take 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll root through the place with a 30 perception.
30 perception, you root through. Okay.
The professor is especially interested in the silkworms.
Interested in the silkworms. All right,
And
so
for our Australian viewers, we are rooting hard.
the only thing you find of any interest are like minor spell components. Maybe, she's been around long enough that she can cast some spells and to create magic garments or whatnot. But that's the only thing you really find in the back there. And the silkworms they just look like silkworms.
Alfonso's going to do a lap around the outside as well, just sort of examining the outer parts of the building, just in case the circle for the building had something to do with the building itself and not what's inside of it. The walls, the ground where it meets the walls, even the roof, looking up on the roof. I don't think he can climb up there, but I mean, he could, but it would not without being very obvious.
Okay.
Oh my God. Another natural 18. 28 perception. Wow.
I don't see anything jumping out at you like secret hatches or secret doors or little things hidden in the walls.
Come
You don't
on,
really
like
see-
Skyrim. Can't there be a well out back that I can
Yeah,
jump
this-
into? The whole hidden
don't really
society.
Don't really see anything.
All right.
Only thing are those silkworms that really the only and the spell components.
I hate feeling like there is something we are missing. I hate it. Makes my blood
hate it
boil.
too.
Makes my blood
Mad.
boil. We should go to this festival and kill someone to satiate
Yes.
anger.
Let's kill everyone in this town. Slake a bloodthirst.
One by one.
I wouldn't cause any violence. As you all know, I abhor violence and am not interested in any vigilante justice or anything of that sort whatsoever. Now, if the Crystal Ghost were
Your
here, she
parents
might-
weren't.
if the Crystal
Your
Ghost
parents
were
weren't
here,
killed after an opera. After all, why would you be interested in such things?
Exactly. My parents weren't killed at an opera. Who kills anyone at an opera?
How absurd!
How absurd.
The very
And it's
notion.
not- the very notion that I would have responded to such a trauma in a way that would motivate me to go out and avenge them. That's just not me. It's
Just
not me.
picturing your mother's pearl necklace being sprayed all over a deserted alley, seeing that not happen just fills me with dread at the very thought.
Yes. And if someone were to say something to me, some phrase, some catchy phrase about dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, I mean, no, that wouldn't stick with me, and
It would have no effect.
it would have no effect. It
After
wouldn't
all, why
penetrate my nightmares for decades. No,
Never.
never.
I'm glad we have time to do these little talks because
Yes.
it's very edifying for all of us.
Is it for me? For me too.
I guess maybe just go to the goddamn festival.
Yeah. We've stalled long enough.
So you talked with the mayor. You walked with him to the festival grounds. You then went to the trading post in Smithy and met Shell Lupescu, who was hoping to be the Founders Feast queen. You met her father, Saul Lupescu, his wife, Anya Lupescu. Then from there, did you go anywhere else before you got to the manor? I can't remember. Oh, you went to the Standing Stones before you went to the smithy. And then you headed over to the manor. And at the manor, you found a locked door. You found a bunk bed. The top half looked like it hadn't been made in a while. The bottom half, under one of the quilts, was hiding this brown liquid. Went upstairs, found your rooms, and the professor found a note, presumably from Elias Kyle. One side is his charge to come here and retrieve 500 gold in taxes. The other side, a map with 4 buildings circled on it. You go to the one last building that you hadn't seen yet, at least on this crude map, and meet the Weaver. She's a little weird, and she just leaves you in her shop. And from there, you head to the festival. And every step through town, there's less and less people. You see the last few stragglers up ahead running into the festival grounds. And you just see this gathering of every single person in Ravenmoor. And it is quite a scene. And we'll see you next week.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh.
We're going to the festival. We didn't even get anything done. Oh.
The festival.
Oh,
The
you got a
festival?
lot done.
Actually, there is a lot of information to dig through here. There's a ton of shit to get into in this. Oh, my God.
Joe, I'm going to need an explosion to take me out of this. This is mind blowing. This is mind blowing.